Welcome to Central Valley Today, everybody. I'm Alex Delgado. Thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday. We begin by addressing what many people might be feeling right about now because of the holidays, me included. It's anxiety. Are all those decorations up? Are all those presents bought? Christmas cards sent out? And what am I making for holiday dinner? All of this can be overwhelming, and let's face it, not so festive. So, how do we cope? Here with some tips is Dr. Jasmine Singh. She's a resident physician over at UCSF Fresno. We welcome you, doctor. Thank you so much for being here because this is an important topic. Do you find that sometimes people don't want to admit that they maybe don't like the holidays because of all the stress and anxiety it brings?
Well, absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me. Very happy to be here. Yes, it is hard to admit that these symptoms are out there. People cope with them and they try to live with them all the time, but the holidays really bring them out.
Yeah. Okay, so you say that there is a difference between anxiety and anxiety disorder. Can you talk to us about that?
Yes. So anxiety is essentially a symptom. It's a collection of different symptoms that come together to form anxiety. So feeling restless, feeling overwhelmed, feeling worried, muscle tension, feeling faint. Those are all a collection of anxiety symptoms. Now, when those symptoms become overwhelming or difficult to control, they become a disorder. Now, that happens when these symptoms affect your functioning. What does that mean? So what that means is our ability to go to work has been marred by the anxiety. Our ability to do schoolwork is marred by the anxiety. Our relationships are impacted by the anxiety.
What do you mean by that relationships impacted? Does that mean that you're always in a bad mood?
Possible, yes. That's a part of it, yes. When you're in a bad mood, you could lash out at your partner, at your children. It could really strain the relationship, and that all goes back to the anxiety. So it's very important to look at what you're experiencing, what your mood is, and to really take care of yourself.
Well, I know that anxiety is pretty normal, right?
Yes.
But are anxiety disorders common?
Yes, they are very common.
Okay.
Anxiety disorders affect 40 million American adults every year. It's a huge problem.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about the symptoms because you mentioned some like muscle tension, but what do you mean? Like, does your neck hurt, your back hurts, that kind of muscle tension? And then also, if you have problems sleeping, that's another one as well, right?
Sleep problems are definitely a component of anxiety, muscle tension, just like you said, neck and back. But it could go a little bit further than that. It could just be this feeling of being overwhelmed and excessive worry that just doesn't go away.
Yeah.
That's a big component of anxiety.
And the holidays really tend to bring that on.
Absolutely, yes. The holidays bring about a unique set of pressures. The first and foremost of which is financial pressure. Everyone feels that they need to buy the best thing for everyone they know and really spend a lot of money on gifts and other things. So financial pressure is huge during the holidays. Another thing is social demands. There are many social demands during the holidays that can really take up a lot of time, cause a hectic schedule, going to parties, having parties, being there for all these different events. Putting all these things in your schedule can take away from healthy living, having enough sleep, eating healthy, exercising, all of that. And lastly, family. It's a very different kind of thought, but
You're so right about that.
But many people feel that being around family that they haven't seen in a long time, old dynamics can come up that caused them stress in the past, and they are worried and anxious about seeing them again. But also there's another concept that if someone has lost someone since the holidays, they may be feeling anxious. What will the holidays look like without their family member or spouse or child that they've lost since then? I mean, it could be very overwhelming. So all of these things can cause anxiety during the holidays.
So what do we do? What do we do if we are feeling any of these symptoms?
So there's a couple tips I'd like to share.
Okay.
The first one, which I think is extremely important, is to accept that you cannot control everything.
That's
This
a good one.
idea that you can't control everything, things are going to go wrong, travel plans can get delayed, something can burn in the kitchen, things will happen. So accepting and just doing your best can really help you face the stress of the holidays.
Go ahead.
Okay, another tip I have is to find what your triggers are. So try to see what makes you more anxious. Is it work? Is it school? Is it someone in particular? Is it around crowds? Really pinpointing what makes you anxious can really help you treat it and deal with it better.
Yeah.
Another tip I have is to just practice healthy lifestyles. Everyone knows these, get enough sleep, exercise, drink water. Around the holidays, the parties are going to come up. There's going to be unhealthy food. There's going to be alcohol, caffeine. So try to limit that as much as you can and try to balance it with time to yourself, healthy living, drinking water.
Because a lot of people think alcohol will help, but that's completely the opposite, right?
It's not. Alcohol can actually exacerbate anxiety. It may help for a little while, but later on, it gets much worse.
It's also important, you mentioned, to talk about it. So does that mean we talk about it with our best friend, with our parents, or maybe with a doctor?
All of the above, actually. So you can, what you feel more comfortable with. So you can start with talking to someone you know, a family member, a friend. But if that's not enough, you can talk to a therapist or a doctor about it. Therapy is commonly used to treat anxiety disorders, and it can be very effective.
Definitely so, and I think more people should take advantage of therapy, because we're just trying to fix ourselves, whether it's physically or emotionally. And I also like that one tip that you have up there about taking deep breaths. That always works. I try to tell my kids that all the time, because even kids can suffer from anxiety as well, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And deep breathing is a great way. So just inhale for 5 seconds and exhale for 5 seconds.
Especially when you're about to yell at somebody. Right, Doctor? Well, your tips are awesome. Thank you so very much for being here. We sure appreciate it. And hopefully everybody follows those wonderful tips of yours. Come back soon.
I will. Thank you so much.
All right, Dr. Singh. Coming up here in Central Valley today, we're going to meet a boy in the South Valley who already knows the meaning of respect at a very young age, while his teachers are gushing about him.